Hello and welcome to another 9-minute Bible study. Our starting point, the book of Ephesians chapter 4, and let's start with verse 7, where it said, "But unto every one of us," who's the us? Believers in Jesus. "But unto every one of believers in Jesus is given grace," God's favor, "according to the measure of the gift of Christ." Christ gives grace to the believers. In measure, that's what it said here. There's only one who received the measure of the Lord without measure, or the full load. John the Baptist said that was Jesus Christ. But since then, since Jesus ascended to the right hand of the Father, Jesus gives gifts by measure. We'll see this as we go along. Verse 8, "Wherefore he," Jesus the Son, "said, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive, and gave gifts unto men." Who's the one giving gifts? It is Jesus the Son. Verse 9, "Now he that ascended went up. What is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth?" Jesus went to paradise. He preached the gospel. He led those in paradise out, leading captivity captive. Now that, verse 9, he ascended. Where is Jesus right now? He's at the right hand of the Father. What is Jesus doing right now? He gave gifts unto men. What we're about to see is the ministry gifts given by Jesus to the church. What's the first one? Verse 11. "And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers." Let's make this first point very clear. All of these are for today. Nowhere do we read in the New Testament that these have been done away with. If anyone is trying to convince you that they've been done away with by trying to twist scriptures, they're not correct. There is no direct verse written by the Apostle Paul or anyone else saying that these have been done away with. Now I'll pick on the middle one in that list. In my lifetime, I used to see a lot of evangelists. Now what's happening in our time? We see fewer and fewer evangelists. Has the church suffered because of this? Absolutely. The church needs all 5 of these in operation. We need apostles, the ones who are sent, the one who establishes a ministry, who oversees it, who makes sure the doctrine is correct. We need prophets, those who receive the word of the Lord, and then they deliver the word of the Lord to the people. We need evangelists big time. We need pastors, and we need teachers. Now, most churches, growing up, I saw a lot of pastors, and I saw a lot of evangelists. Never saw an apostle, never saw a prophet, rarely saw a teacher. Now, as we get closer and closer to the return of Christ, all 5 of these need to be in operation. That means there must be teachers in the church, those who teach the basic doctrines of the church. When the Word of God says, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge," that lack of knowledge begins with the lack of teachers in the church. When there's no teachers, there's no knowledge. And when there's no knowledge, there's destruction. So we need, yes, teachers. Pastors, yes. We need the pastors to be looking over and taking care of the flock. They are the shepherd of the church. They are the ones leading the people from point A to point B. Without the pastors doing this, the sheep can get very lost very quickly. Pastors vitally needed. Evangelist. Sometimes it is good for a minister to come in from the outside, an evangelist, to preach one, a message that leads to the salvation of souls. 2, for the correction and edification of the church. And 3, for an outreach to the community. Evangelists are needed. As I said, this is the one that's kind of disappeared in my lifetime, and I think the churches of this day are really paying a price for allowing that one to slip away. Prophets, do we need to know the voice of the Lord? Absolutely. We need to know what the Lord is saying to the churches. Now, what is a prophetic word? It will edify, exhort, and comfort. That's what it will do to the believers in the church. Those outside, that's root out and pull down. That's Jeremiah. But I want to deal with the church today. The prophet will build up. He will what? Edify, exhort, and comfort. The apostle. If you look at the apostle Paul, he established the Ephesus church. It became the base for the churches in that province. As in his role of an apostle, the apostle Paul is writing this letter, making sure the doctrine of the church is established. He made sure the church was established. He makes sure that it's doctrinally sound. He is really the overseer of what is going on in that ministry. Now, do we need all of these in operation in the church? Absolutely. Churches, if we are going to be strong in the days ahead, we need all 5 of these in operation. Understand something. Sometimes we start saying, well, this is the least and this is the greatest. Paul didn't say that. He said all 5 are important. All 5 need to be in operation. If the church has all 5 of these in operation, then what we see beginning in verse 12 and continuing for a while in the chapter will be at work in the church. We need these in the church. And as those in the pew, we need to be willing to allow all 5 of these offices to be in operation, not only in our churches, but to have an effect on our lives. Every single one. The Spirit will lead us into this, and the Spirit will make sure that the churches are growing and being edified when all 5 of these ministry gifts